Hello everybody, this is Speaking Dosa. I'm from speakingdosa.com. I made this internet website to be specialized on TOEFL IBT speaking. I've been teaching TOEFL all 4 sections ever since November of 2005. That's the first week of the TOEFL IBT new format IBT TOEFL exams started in the country of Canada. And I've been with a lot of students. I'm sorry, lots of students, probably hundreds of different students with different cultural backgrounds and different ethnicities. But one thing that I found out among all those different students is that they all have difficulties when it comes to getting a high score in speaking section. And I've been thinking about the reason, and one of the reasons, as I mentioned in my previous lecture, is that you got to have some strategy. Most of my students, Korean, Japanese, or Chinese, they just walk into the test center without any clear strategy, any clear things that they have in their mind, but they just somehow they believe that they're going to perform. But that's exactly not true. That never happens. So a good score, especially in speaking section, always comes from good practice and the strategy that I present to you right now. Most of you probably might have seen my previous lecture. Although there is only one in the English language, this would be my second one of the series. Now today I'm going to talk about question number 5. So that's integrated question number 5, and in this question is structured so that you can listen to one problem, 2 different solutions, and you have to state your own opinion. But you cannot come up with the third answer, but you have to choose between the 2 solutions that you just heard in the passage. Now, this question should be responded in a really scientific and strategic way, because most students, they state what problem is and they come up with 2 solutions which are mentioned in the passage, but when it comes to making their own statement, they always run out of time. That happens to thousands of students. And why? Because they do not have clear strategy. You got to have a clear plan. So this is my answer: 20 20 20, or 15 25 and the rest. That's your strategy. So it's 15 25 and 20. That could be your strategy. That's your time management. The first 20 seconds, you state the problem. And the problem obviously is one of the 2 speakers. So it could be a male student or the female student. It cannot be just both. There are some exceptions to this rule, because recently, and I'm talking about spring of 2007, there have been some questions where the problem is for the both of them. For example, there was this question where organizers of the school band, they're having this common problem, which is the band that they booked for this party just canceled their reservation or appointment because they have some other schedule, and these 2 students have to come up with a new band. So except those few, majority of questions are formatted so that one speakers of the 2, he or she has a problem, and the other speaker's role is to present 2 possible solutions. Now, when it comes to problems, the problem is also structured that there's always 2 sides. The problem of a typical student is, first, he or she has a really big examination coming up on Monday or Tuesday, but on the weekend, so that's the other side of the problem, on the weekend, he or she has to work. So the problem of this female or male student is not that he or she has an examination on Monday, but that he or she has an examination, but at the same time has to work on the weekend. So when you state the problem, you gotta have to state both sides of the same problem. So your natural format would be his problem is this, but at the same time has to do this. You gotta have to integrate those 2 things. And when it comes to 2 possible solutions, it's really straightforward. You state 1 and 2 solutions, but each solution has its own good side and bad side. Now, for those of you who can speak English fluently and fast, I would strongly recommend that you make, you talk about good point and bad point of each solution. So it might have only 1 point, only good point, and it might have only bad points. So you might as well state those things. Now, and then for the last part, your answer should also touch on your own idea. And your own idea would best be your original creative idea. But within 20-second time frame that you're given for preparation, there is absolutely no way that you can come up with fancy, nice, logical idea. Your opinion would be clumsy. It might not make sense. It's illogical. It's just total crap. But that doesn't matter as long as you speak English. So for 20 seconds, you can just repeat the idea that was stated in the passage, or you can come up with your own idea. And the second one is obviously a much better one. So my format, so to speak, my speaking dosa format, dosa, D-O-S-A, in English means teacher. Dosa, that's Korean language word, it means teacher. So speaking dosa format is that you always state a student's problem in such a way that the female student's problem is that she has to do this, but at the same time there's this problem. Now, to solve this predicament, or to get her out of this predicament, the male student, her friend, makes 2 suggestions. The first suggestion is blah blah blah, and one of the good things of this plan is that she can blah blah blah. In addition, he also states that she can do this, but at the same time there's another problem with this. In my opinion, the female student should go for the first option, and the reason is that she can always be blah 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 blah. So without writing this down on blackboard or whiteboard or even computer screen, it's really hard to deliver, let you know what I have in my mind. But I think this is pretty much everything when it comes to question number 5. And there have been some of you guys out there who sent me email asking me some other tips or some other strategies I have. Now, unfortunately, my first language is Korean, so my lectures are all videotaped in the Korean language, and it is now it's now available to all of you out there who can speak Korean in wisesat.com. That's WISESAT.com. It's a really great site. It's not owned by myself, but you can find some other fancy lectures on SATs or AP courses and obviously TOEFL IBT. Now, my plan within this year is to make a TOEFL IBT speaking lecture, online lecture in English. So, I'm obviously not 100% native. Even though I spent more than 15 years in Vancouver, Canada, I got my high school degree from Canada, and I went to the University of British Columbia. I got my graduate degree there as well, and so it's not my pronunciation and my grammar that you are learning from me, but my strategy. My strategy is well organized and well structured. That's what I'm going to deliver to all of you. So until next time, you might as well send me an email. I'm going to I'll write it down here on the screen, and you can just come by at my website. Even though this is all Korean, you can find some other information there, written in English. So until next time, you study hard, and if you have any questions, you always email to me, and we can solve the problem together. So good luck to all of you out there.